Yeah, I believe there are a couple of questions for me.
Hang on.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to just call on Mr. Kumar Birla first.
Aamir, what I'd like to know is that how do you always manage to strike such a good balance between being so creative on the one hand and also remaining objective about what your audience will like without letting the creativity get the better of you?
Actually, you know, when I'm embarking on a film, I'm not thinking of success and failure. That's not in my mind at all. I just fall in love with the story and I want to be part of it. I want to, you know, just dive into it. I'm not thinking of success and failure at that time. And I'm not thinking of what the audience likes. I have no idea what the audience wants. Genuinely, I really don't. But what I do know is what I want. I know what I like, and I know what excites me. So I like to follow that, and I can only hope that the audience likes that and they all enjoy it as well. So I just follow my heart, my instinct. When I'm hearing a script or reading it, I'm the audience. And so I go with my gut and then hope for the best. Yeah.
The next question could come from Mr. Mahindra, Anand Mahindra. As some of you may know, he's a lapsed filmmaker and was a graduate in film and photography at Harvard College.
Dina, I'm lapsed but not deceased. Aamir, in your recent movies, you've chosen stories which have shunned the Bollywood formula. And you picked up unusual themes, and yet achieved great commercial success with them. Now, do we conclude that the audience is rewarding anyone who dares to be different, go against the grain? Or are there common threads? Is there a method to this? Have you actually created a new recipe and formula for success?
No, I don't think I've created a new recipe. I just feel that a lot of us often forget that the business we are in is when we produce something, when we make something, just by the definition of what we are meant to be doing. Basically, we are telling stories. And if I tell you a story and then I tell you that, you know, I'm going to tell you the same story again, you would not be interested in listening to it. So just by the very definition of a work, we have to be different each time, as opposed to, you know, perhaps in manufacturing units when you have to produce the same thing again. Something that people have loved and you want to give them exactly that. But here in our field, it's the world of storytelling. So once I've told you a story, it's over. I have to think of a new story. So I have to reinvent myself. I have to be different. You know, that's the demand on me from my job. And so that's what I've done. And I've not done it as a demand on my job. I just feel, you know, that once I've done something, I move on to something else which excites me, you know. So I don't think it's so much something that I'm thinking and doing. But very, very naturally, I'm, you know, attracted to scripts that are different and unusual and stories which move me emotionally. And I personally believe that, you know, when you have a good story to tell and you tell it well, I think each film is a potential, you know. It really depends on you how deep you want to dive in. So when you have a story to tell and it's a lovely story and you tell it well, it doesn't matter how unusual it is. You know, I think people connect with it if it's a good story. Yeah.
So one last question, maybe from a representative from our contingent of Gen Next. Jayanti Chauhan, Director, Bisleri International.
Something like lateral thinking, which is basically thinking out of the box. Can we implement something like this in our school systems? I mean, what your movie Three Idiots spoke about was how the school systems are so sort of, you know, towards mugging up and not really thinking out of the box.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point. I completely agree with that. I feel that our education system, while it has produced all of us, and I think we're all right, but I do believe that we teach our children to, you know, we put them in compartments, I've been taught like that. I've been taught to memorize. I think those days are gone by, you know, the way we have to memorize. We have to, I think, teach our children to question. They must discover for themselves. They must fall and make mistakes. They must, you know, we must encourage them to be free thinkers, free spirits. Only then will, I think, India, you know, come out of this mindset where we sometimes feel that, you know, we are limited. And I feel that, you know, it has to start from that young age, where we encourage our children not to learn by rote and give an exam, but enjoy and play with knowledge. Question, we must encourage them to question, and we must encourage them to make mistakes. So, you know, it's a really funny story, but one of my friends was telling me that his kid did a painting, you know. And the painting he had made was, the sky was green instead of blue, and the fields were red, and, you know, so he had used supposedly wrong colors. So the teacher gave him wrong. Now, we have to come out of this. So if a child says the earth is not round, it is square, we must encourage him. We must hear his view. Why do you think it is square? We must not give him a wrong for that. We must say, great, this guy is thinking differently. He's thinking out of the box. Let's hear what he has to say. The child must be encouraged in that. He must not be discouraged in that. And it is only when we build the confidence of our children and we, you know, give them a free rein to run and gallop, you know, in the fields, will our minds really open. I don't think we're using even 1/100th of what we're capable of, quite frankly. And our education system right through the years has just taught us memorize and answer, memorize and answer. I think we really need to come out of that. We really need to come out of that. Yeah. You know, the other thing I was wanting to say is, even about inclusion, I'm coming back to that. And some of the, you know, out-of-the-box thinking or unusual thinking or really great thinking the one big example of that is Mahatma Gandhi. I think he's one of the biggest thinkers of I don't know, any time. Yeah. The kind of vision that he has, the kind of emotion that he has, the kind of thought that he has, where he speaks about, you know, where he speaks about non-violence as a concept. That's such an amazing thought here. I just get so moved each time I think of it. Such an amazing thought. You know, we say Google ka idea koi le aaya, and Apple people are very smart. Unhone kuch phone banaya and all that. I think that what Mahatma Gandhi has done is the biggest concept of non-violence, of inclusion, of telling us that, you know, if we really care about what we are achieving, what are we going to achieve? We're going to die in 60, 70 years. What are we going to achieve? You're going to achieve something when you help somebody. You're going to achieve something when you reach out to somebody. You're going to achieve something when you bring a smile to someone's face. You're going to achieve something when you help the person who's less privileged than you are. That is when you're going to achieve something. That is when you're really going to be inclusive. Yeah.